up, Sauce Gang, and welcome back to the channel. Hot Sauce Beats here with another dope reaction for you. Well, Matt Pat over at The Film Theorist just dropped a brand new video, and I'm stoked for this one because it is called Not What He Seems, The Batman. Now, my youngest daughter and I just saw the new Batman 2 weekends ago, and fam, it is amazing. We've never seen a Batman like this. He definitely is more of like the DC detective Batman in this story, and I absolutely loved it. I didn't know what to think about Twilight being in here, but it was really good. So I'm really stoked to hear some theories from Matt Pat on the Batman. But before we jump into this video, fam, please make sure you help support The Film Theorist by subscribing to the channel and liking the original video. And if you enjoy my reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free and it greatly helps out the channel. But enough talking, let's get to reacting and roll that bomb ass intro.
Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Hot Sauce Beats is finally here. Eat, sleep, make beats. Eat, sleep, make beats.
Hot Sauce Beats. Woo, woo. Let's go, Sauce Gang.
So the main villain of the Batman is the Riddler, a character who's always honestly been one of my favorite Batman antagonists. I mean, in the comics, he's this guy that thinks he's so smart that he leaves Batman a bunch of puzzles to solve in order to lead him right to the crime scene. It's like the nerdiest attempt at a Chad move ever. Which is what
Chad move. You know, he's just some frat boy drinking, murdering people. No big deal.
I was so excited to see him here in this movie, reimagined as a terrifying masked serial murderer, a nightmarish Zodiac killer for the Instagram
Literally
age,
a Zodiac
driven by
killer.
the single-minded goal of getting people to watch his internet videos about the deep lore of Gotham City. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's the oh no about?
Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory, the show that encourages you to pull an Adam West and punch that subscribe button so hard it says oof.
You know I love Batman on this channel,
Never
Chad.
had a man with glasses.
Well friends, hot on the heels of the huge success that was Batman v Superman, well, it looks like it took some time, but the Batman is finally set to take flight here in 2019, right in time for the summer blockbusters for Halloween for the top of 2022. We finally have the release of the Ben Affleck directed, Matt Reeves directed Batman movie.
Gee, yeah, a lot of change.
Whew, starring Ben Affleck. Oh, come on. Yes, friends, we finally have ourselves a new standalone.
I gotta say though, Robert did a really, really good job. Again, you know, every time I picture Robert, I picture Twilight, and I'm not the biggest fan. So I didn't know how it was gonna be, but he absolutely killed it. Like, I love this amazing movie.
Alone Batman movie, the latest feature film adaptation of the only character in the DC Comics universe that Warner Brothers is apparently aware exists. I mean, I would make the joke myself, but it looks like they've already done it for me.
Coming this summer,
They're finally going to make a movie about me!
Alfred, the movie.
The real punchline here is that by the time that joke made it to theaters, WB had actually greenlit an Alfred show.
My movie must be slated for next summer.
Coming next summer, it's The Car.
Oh, they did the car before you,
Batmobile.
bro.
And now they're doing that one too.
What's up, DC Kids fandom? I'm really excited to give you a little sneak peek into the new show, Bat Wheels.
Even the upcoming Flash movie is apparently a Batman movie. Okay, so maybe the world's a bit saturated with Batman content these days, which
I mean, no, hold on. In Batman's defense, Batman's awesome. Absolutely certified badass. I love Batman. He is hands down my favorite superhero because he doesn't actually have any powers. He's just a rich dude that fights crime because he's rich. I mean, how badass is that?
which kind of makes it ironic that today I don't want to talk about the movie that we got. Instead, I want to talk about the movie that we're gonna get. You see, since the release of the film, the internet's been buzzing with headlines all about the big Joker tease that happens at the end of this movie. Just to recap where we leave things off. As the Batman concludes, Riddler, aka Edward Nashton, turns out to basically be a dorky Batman fanboy who thought that he was helping the crime-fighting mission with his clues. And honestly, Batman needs all the help he can get, considering he manages to thwart about, like, let's say 1/3 of the Riddler's big evil scheme. Sure, just about every specific person that Riddler sets out to kill gets killed, and Gotham City is flooded just like he planned, but I guess Batman managed to stop, like, most of an attack at a big political event, so...
I mean, really in the grand scheme of things, Batman did not save anything. Other than catching the Riddler. Well, the Riddler essentially got caught himself, so, like, Batman didn't stop anything at all.
Oh, yay? Along the way, he learns that in order to truly make Gotham better, he's gonna need to check his privilege, brush up on his Spanish, and recalibrate his branding a bit, considering that one of the gunmen in the finale repeats his "I'm vengeance" catchphrase back to him. It's a good thing that he had already caught the Riddler at that point, because it sounds like he's gonna need a me-day to process that one. Speaking of catching the Riddler, he gets one last scene moping in his cell in Arkham Asylum, and it's here that we finally come to the conversation that everyone's been talking about, and the one that I want to focus on for today's episode. Since we obviously don't have footage from the new movie, let me just set the scene. A barren cell, tinted red. Redder? No, really, I mean real red. Pretend like ketchup got smeared across the film reel or something. Yeah, there it is, perfect. Riddler, sad and confused, paces in his room. Suddenly a voice from the next cell over says,
"What is it they say? One day you're on top, and the next you're a clown. Well, let me tell you, there are worse things than being a... Hey, don't be sad. You..."
Hold on, if you have not seen the Batman yet, they are doing such a good job at recreating this end scene. I'm loving this.
Did so well. And you know Gotham loves a comeback story.
"Who are you?"
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Riddle me this. The less of them you have, the more one is worth.
"A friend." And then they both laugh, but not like normal laughs. They both sound like two teenage boys swapping Fortnite memes on the playground. And scene. Now, we don't get a good look at who this person is. The actor is Barry Keoghan, and he's credited only as unseen Arkham inmate, but his face appears to be somehow disfigured. So, between the high-pitched prepubescent laughter, the clown references, and
The scars.
clearly everyone is immediately thinking that this guy is the Joker. And it certainly makes sense. He is the top Batman villain. Every version of this property is always in a rush to get him in there, and there have been rumors that Keoghan's undisclosed role would specifically be a version of the Joker. And yet, I'm not so sure.
Matt?
It feels almost too easy, too predictable.
Matt?
Shh, not right now. I'm trying to record. You're already a movie studio fighting the perception that it keeps repeating itself. Why would you make your big build-up something that everyone was so sure that they could see coming? And at the same time, why would you take such a huge risk? Any casting of the Joker immediately gets compared to Heath Ledger's iconic portrayal in The Dark Knight, and that's just not a comparison that many actors are able to win.
Nope,
a
I'm
bad
good.
Joker too early in your series can really kill off your chances before you even get a chance to spread your...
No, I will agree with that. Like, I don't think, with the exception of the movie The Joker, which Joaquin Phoenix played, they just haven't really done a good job of portraying the Joker. Now, again, there's different kinds of Jokers, just like there's different kinds of Batmans, which this one is definitely a completely different Batman universe. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, I'm just throwing this out here. 100. I've seen the movie. 100%. The guy that's in the cell, or I should say 99%, is the Joker. So I'm really curious to see where Matt Pat's going with this, but I'm just letting you guys know this is going to be a hard sell, because I'm probably not going to change my mind.
Your wings.
It
Isn't
was
that
the
right,
Joker.
Jared Leto?
Really, Bruce? Honor? We live in a society.
Like I said,
Hunka hunka!
that's why I believe the Batman is actually pulling the wool over our eyes. They're misdirecting us. They're setting up a different Batman arch nemesis, one that would work a lot better for the world that this film's created, a guy named Hush.
Matt!
Seriously, what? I am trying to record.
Yes, hi, hello, head editor Dan here. You really might want to see this.
One of the lines from the scene that's not in is that unseen prisoner says to him, he says, "It's almost our anniversary, isn't it?" And that character, who is the character that you think he is?
Wait, so he's the character I think he is? Did they already just confirm my Hush theory?
No, Matt, you're missing the point here.
The reason that Joker's in the movie is Batman is so unnerved
What? Hold on, Matt. What are you doing, bro? I can't. Fam, we're literally a third of the way in this, and his theory's been debunked. But I'm really curious. Is he gonna 180? What's he doing here?
because the Riddler is writing to him. And so he goes to see another killer that he's clearly had an experience with. And this killer in this story is not yet the character that we come to know. And so here we have a Joker who's not yet the Joker.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, when did this come out? March 4th? That is literally the day that the movie released. They leave in a bunch of theory fodder, trademarked, only to reveal the answer the same day. But I just finished the script. I just got into the recording booth.
I know, buddy. I know, it hurts.
Life has been a cruel joke on him, and he's eventually going to become declare himself as a clown, declare himself as the Joker.
Oh, be quiet, Matt Reeves. I get it. You've done enough damage.
Hush!
Well,
There's a new salad fingers. You want to talk about that?
he should be Hush.
Wait, what?
He should be Hush. Yeah, that's it. They're all wrong.
The director is wrong about his own movie.
All of them. The director, the studio, everyone is wrong to insert the Joker into this world. This character should be Hush. It would work better. It would make more sense. Heck, the Easter eggs are already there in the movie, so as long as you scrub all these director interviews from the world, you have something that could really work.
Hold on. So this has turned into a theory. It would start off as a theory, and now it's Matt Pat's opinion. It's an opinion. A movie opinion.
Really going through with this.
Going through with what, Dan? Making the movie better? Making these business decisions over at WB and DC make sense? Yeah, I am. Now stand aside, my friend. I got a theory to record.
All right, good luck. Oh, boy.
Created by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee in 2002, Hush is... It's a little bit complicated. Have you noticed that most major Batman villains are directly commenting on the Batman in some way? Two-Face is a guy with two personas, like someone who's rich during the day and a bat vigilante at night. The Penguin is a low-life criminal who cosplays as a rich aristocrat, a direct commentary on the billionaire who hunts him down. Batman is a man pretending to be a bat, but what happens when you have a bat pretending to be a man? Man-Bat. Look, not all of them need an elaborate explanation. But whereas all these other villains are commentaries on Batman, Hush is the villain that's basically the evil version of Bruce Wayne. In the original Hush storyline, a boy named Thomas Elliot grows up as Bruce's childhood friend. But whereas Bruce Wayne became Batman following the tragic murder of his loving parents, Elliot's parents were abusive and neglectful, and his origin begins by attempting to engineer their deaths in an accident so he can inherit the fortune. But when the moment finally comes, Elliot only manages to kill his father. His mother's life is actually saved by Thomas Wayne, thwarting his plan for inheritance, driving him further into madness, and leaving him with a permanent grudge against the Wayne family. From that starting point, Thomas Elliot grows up to become a brilliant surgeon with a chip on his shoulder. During the 11-issue storyline, he learns that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and he becomes obsessed with tearing him down. To do this, he manipulates almost everyone, including Joker, Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, even Superman, as a part of his elaborate scheme. And here's the kicker. The reason he knows the Bruce-Batman connection, Hush's secret partner figures it out. The one smart enough to put it all together, the Riddler. They team up, they're friends, just like we see them becoming friends in Arkham.
Okay, so I see where you're going with this, Matt Pat, and I agree. This sounds like it would be an amazing movie. I just, you got to remember, it's tough selling. Well, I guess the first Batman did it essentially, not the very first, but Batman Begins, on selling a villain that's not a big name. But they could do it, and I think it sounds like it'd be a great movie. But it's not what the next one is.
At the end of the Batman.
That's it? They shared a storyline and worked together one time? That's your big evidence?
No, that's not it. Obviously, that would be way too big of a leap.
I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but have you seen these channels?
I'm gonna choose to ignore that. In this new movie, the Riddler's grudge against the Waynes started when he was a kid living in an orphanage set to be funded by a Wayne family charity initiative, one that then lost funding when the Waynes got killed, right? Well, the Riddler has himself a theory, a conspiracy theory, that their death wasn't a random act of violence. In a rambling explainer video, he tries to prove that Thomas Wayne, while running for mayor of Gotham, asked for a hit on a tabloid journalist that was set to do an expose.
So, by the way, spoiler alert, if you've not seen the Batman yet, right now he's about to give you massive spoilers of what happened in the new Batman. So be careful.
About his wife Martha being treated for mental illness at Arkham. When the deal goes south, the Waynes get killed. But what's important here are the images that flash across the screen. The journalist who supposedly gets killed is named Edward Elliot. And then we see the word Hush scrawled across the TV screen. Elliot, Hush? They're trying to tell us something.
It's an Easter egg.
Sure, it's pretty explicit. But what is it that our scarred friend says in his dialogue at the end of the new movie? Everyone loves a comeback story. That line, it doesn't really make make a lot of sense if we assume that this is the Joker. Oh no, he was caught off screen in Batman's first year in a movie that never got made, and now he's back in the sequel? Sure, I guess, but what if this guy was thought to be dead and is looking to surprise everyone with his return? Now the line really fits. Edward Elliot. Or better yet, what if it's Edward Elliot's son coming back? Thomas, another child who's made an orphan thanks to the corruption of Gotham. But unlike Bruce, who grows up and internalizes that to become a force for good, this kid grows up to take a different path, one of spreading fear and murder. That comeback line also makes a lot of sense with Hush's history. He himself is a comeback story from Bruce and his childhood spent together, and his big plot to take down Batman in the comics revolves around making it seem like Jason Todd has come back from the dead. Everyone loves a comeback story.
I mean, sure, but the director said.
But beyond the Riddler connection and the Easter eggs hidden in the film, Hush makes the most sense to use for this version of Batman.
I will definitely, again, I can definitely see that. I mean, I think any version of Batman works with the Joker, right? Now, has it been done a lot? Yes. Have we ever seen Hush? No. And I'll agree with them. The Easter eggs are lining up. But again, I mean, it's not what the movie's gonna be. So, I don't know. Maybe for the three-peat? Three-peat will be Hush?
This Batman is a detective. He walks around slowly. He monologues about his thoughts slowly. He solves mysteries slowly. And Hush is very much a crime noir villain, someone manipulating things from the shadows, pulling the strings. He tends to work best in any story where elaborate conspiracies are afoot, or people are digging into the not-so-pure pasts of Thomas and Martha Wayne, just like the Riddler is doing here in this first movie. Hush comes from comic storylines like Batman, R.I.P. and Heart of Hush, where villains dig into the old dark rumors of the Wayne family's connections to things like drug scandals and the accusations that Alfred is Bruce's biological father. Thematically too, Thomas Elliot.
What? Don't know. No. I've never heard that theory that Alfred was shagging his mom. I don't know if I like that. I don't want my image. No, I don't want it to be ruined. I don't want to think differently of Batman's origins. Why did you have to let me know that, Matt? I've never heard that before.
Just makes more sense. The Batman's version of Bruce Wayne is not a perfect guy who's figured out his entire mission yet. He essentially gets dressed down to his face by Catwoman about how it's actually guys like Bruce Wayne who are the problem in places like Gotham. And in that context, a villain like Thomas Elliot as Hush, someone from Bruce Wayne's world who's living the same kind of double life but with the mirror opposite values and mission, would be the perfect way to continue driving that point home.
You done?
Speaking of Selina Kyle, Hush kidnaps her, then surgically removes her heart and holds it hostage in a story arc. So, you know, in this new film universe, he would have her hanging out and available for that.
That one's kinda weird, not gonna lie.
But also look at the casting and design of this guy. Well, Barry Keoghan's disfigured Joker face is meant to be a birth defect that forces his version of the character into a permanent smile.
He's got this congenital disease, he can never stop smiling. What if this is something that he's been touched by from birth, and he's had this very dark reaction to it, and he knows how to get into your head?
We know from the comics that Hush's face is constantly wrapped in bandages, like some sort of Invisible Man cosplay. He does this to hide the fact that he's done surgery on his own face. So if they wanted Barry to suddenly not be the Joker, you could just say, oh yeah, these are bad plastic surgery scars. Also, it's worth mentioning that Thomas Elliot does surgery on his own face to become Bruce Wayne. He literally changes his face to become a doppelganger for Bruce. In a film universe where Bruce is a recluse and hiding inside the Batman cowl for like 95% of the runtime, it leaves the door open for Hush to take on Bruce's identity out in the daylight to cause some havoc. At which point, the real Bruce needs to deal with his and his family's demons to realize that, hey, being a privileged rich kid comes with responsibilities that you can't just dress up and punch through to avoid. In fact, that movie would force Bruce to realize that Bruce Wayne, based on all his money and privilege, probably has more changing power than Batman ever did with his fists.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
I recognize that I pay you to say that, but I appreciate you doing it anyway. We also need to consider age here. Joker in most media is meant to be older than Batman by about 10 years, whereas Hush is meant to be Batman's contemporary. They grew up together as childhood frenemies. At 29, Barry Keoghan is a good bit younger than 35-year-old Robert Pattinson's Batman. That age gap could certainly work with a Hush dynamic, but it would definitely be a bit unusual to see it played out in the form of Joker. And Lastly, during the end credits of this new movie, you're hinted to go to a website, www.ratalata, the winged rat, which is meant to be the Riddler's site. It's actually been kicking around since the movie's early trailers, but now it's constantly being updated with new Riddler files so you can dig around inside his conspiracy. Lots of them are just really cool assets from the movie. You get close-up shots of Riddler's sanctuary, some of the surveillance photos that he took of the corrupt elite, Martha Wayne being treated at Arkham, and of course, plenty of ciphers to solve for when you finished your daily dose of Wordle.
I got it in 4 today.
5. Thanks for rubbing it in. Anyway, this file is super cool, and I highly recommend that everyone watching check it out, but there are 2 files in the zip drive that I wanted to call out specifically. First, in picture 01, we get a man missing a face wrapped in bandages.
That could be his victims just wrapped up in duct.
Yeah, I was just about to say, now that's how all the victims die. Their faces get covered up, so...
Agreed, but I just wanted to point it out.
And he looks like a politician as well. See, I don't think we can say that's hush.
What's much more interesting, though, is Riddler's journal. It's a 9-page PDF where we see his descent into madness. It starts with him suspecting that something's wrong in the city. He's frustrated by the elite sitting on their thrones, and he's determined to find the corruption that exists under the surface. By the end, though, he's filling the pages with line after line of renewal. I know what I must become, and no escape. Just page after page after page of rambling and scribbling. Looking at it, it was suspicious to me that they included so much of this, so I decided to look closer. And when you do, you can start to make out some shapes. Things that kind of look like the shape of eyeballs. So I darken the image, and you clearly get faces. 2 strong points for Batman's ears, his glaring eyes, and someone lurking behind him. Is it just the Riddler? Sure, maybe, probably. But I like to think that this whole rabbit hole of an ARG is hinting at what's coming next. And that face, to me, is very similar to what we see of Hush.
Legitimately, that's pretty cool, regardless of whether it's Hush or not.
Here's the TLDR. Do I think that Barry Keoghan is likely meant to be the Joker? Yes.
He is. Again, that was outright confirmed.
The director said it.
That he isn't. Batman's rogues gallery is stacked with amazing characters that were all built to reveal interesting facets of the character. I get why everyone is in such a rush to pull out a Joker, but guess what? Story matters more. The Dark Knight worked not just because the Joker was in it, but because the team making the movie understood why the Joker was in it. And spoiler alert, the answer wasn't just to sell tickets. Don't get me wrong, I love the character. I thought the new Joker movie was great, but we see him all the time. Batman has 26 animated films, and Joker makes an appearance in at least 16 of them. That's 61%. Wow. In live action movies, we've seen the Joker 5 times in the last 30 years. On TV, Gotham gave us like 3 people who weren't technically the Joker, but were obviously kind of the Joker. I'm just excited to see something different with these characters, and this new Batman movie started to give me it, and I want that to continue. When I look at the world of this new movie, Hush feels like a perfect fit. There's comic lore connecting him to the Riddler. The Easter eggs that have already been laid out for Mr. J could just as easily transplant over onto Thomas Elliot, a scarred Bruce Wayne doppelganger, and honestly, I think the story potential there is just as strong, if not stronger. In the end, my point is that I love all these characters, and sometimes by seeing less of one, it allows us to see more of all of them. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
So I just leave, right? Matt didn't really say goodbye, so I just kind of stayed for the end card. Oh, end card. Well, I guess you can click this video here. That'll take you to the.
All right. Let me bring you in, chat. Let me bring you in. So I don't know. This was really interesting because again, his theory turned into more of an opinion that he just didn't like the fact that they were gonna use the Joker in the next movie and it should be another villain, which I can see his points, and I agree with the Easter eggs. They definitely set it up for it to be Hush, but I don't think they're gonna do a bad job with the Joker. Now, I do think it is, just like the Dark Knight series, the Joker was in the second one, Bane was in the third. I always forget the guy's name in the first, but you can't always have the Joker. So, just like this first movie, it was the Riddler. We also saw the Penguin in there. A bunch of the mafia gangs. So I really enjoyed it. But yeah, there wasn't really any lore theories that he debated here. Again, this is just more of a film opinion. But it was a great opinion, and as usual, Matt Pat and his editing team, they killed it. I wish I could learn how to edit like this because it's insane. It makes the content a bajillion times better. So this was awesome. Chat, let me know. What do you think? Did you like his opinion? I personally, I'm fine either way. And if they use the Joker, I think it's gonna be done right. I don't think it's overkill. You know, would it be interesting to see a new villain, Hush? Because we've never seen him before. Yeah, it'd be great. And 100% it fits the Easter eggs and this style of Batman. So, but fam, make sure you show some love to Matt, Pat, and the film theorists by subscribing to the channel and liking the original video. And if you enjoyed my reaction, please help support the channel by smashing that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free and it greatly helps out the channel. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And remember, it's eat, sleep, and make beats. And as usual, be kind to one another. And that's all I got. Boom, I'm out. Gonna love the sauce gang. Peace out, fam. I love you.